Yeah, definitely knowing your role. Like, I guess on our team at least, not a lot of freshmen speak up. They're not a lot of social. They're all first year. Oh my god, that's the third time I've done it. I'm sorry, Larissa's gonna be so mad at me. But I mean, you have to grow into that role, right? You have to know your part. As soon as you come in as a first year, you know that you're not the top dog anymore, and you know that there's people here that have been waiting to be seniors, to be juniors, to be rising in these ranks.
Welcome back to Season 2 of the Widener World of Sports podcast. This is Greg Spica, the Director of Athletic Communications here at Widener University, and the host. And this season, we're excited to have a great team of new student athletes ready to give you the inside scoop on being a Widener student athlete. Why don't you all introduce yourselves?
My name's Brian Young. I'm a junior here. I play men's lacrosse.
My name is Nick Barnez. I'm a senior baseball player.
I'm Katie Haye, and I play field hockey, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Ava Iepson. I'm a softball player, and I'm a first year.
So today's topic will focus on transition, and transition is such a broad topic that we can go about. You can transition from being in season, out of season, transition from high school to college and that life, or even just collegiate year to year.
So, Ava, how has your transition been from high school to Widener so far in this fall?
I think so far it's pretty easy going. I'm not in season right now, so I feel like it's easier for me, like instead of just jumping straight into the season because I'm off. So I think so far it's been pretty good. Classes haven't been too overworking. I don't have a lot of work. So right now it's going pretty well for me, I feel like. So, and I really like it. So
It's good.
yeah.
Going on to that, what's the biggest change from high school sports off season to college?
I feel like right now the biggest difference is probably I feel like we do a lot more together in the off season for college than we did in high school for sports. I feel like we're always together, we're always trying to bond just so in season, when in season comes around, we're together and where you are getting along and everything's smooth sailing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm in high school, we didn't do anything outside of in season, and then you come here and you do lift and conditioning, and then you have spring ball or fall ball or anything like that.
And you're always even out of class, out of sports, you're always doing everything together. If you're going to eat together or if you're just studying together, I feel like having that sport relationship with your team allows you to fit in better and kind of get your grasping before the season starts.
Well, you're in season, so how is that? You're sophomore, so you already had your freshman year, so now you've kind of experienced a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But what can you help Ava out with since she hasn't had an in-season time in school yet?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Okay, so when I came as a first year, I felt the biggest thing was that I just didn't know what to expect, and coming in and my season being in fall, I didn't have time to jump into it. It was basically my first time meeting my coach. Well, other than being recruited and taking visits and clinics and stuff like that. So it wasn't really we had that relationship before, where I felt we developed that in the spring. It kind of was reversed, if that makes sense. So I feel something that you could keep in mind is that working hard now, so that sets you up for the spring, where I felt in season I had to work so hard for that week before our actual game started to figure it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel it's good for me to have a spring sport instead of going right into it in fall, so I can get my graspings and I can meet everybody and I'm not just rushing right into it with a fall sport.
Yeah, I definitely felt I was rushed into everything, and then figuring out too school and how to study on top of all that, because academics in college is so much harder than academics in high school. I never had to study. I'm still developing all my study skills now as a sophomore and figuring out what works for me. So that was a big transition too when I came.
I feel that's also because you're in nursing and not business.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people becoming nurses and they just work their off nonstop.
No.
Like
Yeah.
it's them and engineers have no time to do anything but homework and study.
Yeah, all the engineers and nursing people on our, like, girls on our team, like, they're always doing work. And I'm, like,
Yeah.
sitting there, like, I have nothing really going on at the moment. Like, I don't know why you guys are so busy. But, like, it's just, they're major, and it's, like, crazy.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite things about transitioning from high school to college is in high school you got to take all these courses like, oh, sorry, I keep cursing. You got to take science and history, art,
Yeah.
music even, and a language. Like, I love the fact that when I'm here, I can actually focus on something that interests me. It's why I made it my major. So as a senior, my schedule right now is senior project, marketing, and marketing.
Mhm.
And in the spring, I realized I have to do all my electives because I forgot to do those. But or else I would have been done after one class in the spring. But it's at least classes that I like to do.
Yeah.
But now my senior year, I have to go back to pretty much high school where I'm taking astronomy and Spanish again.
Yeah. Your advisor didn't help you out with that.
I've had 4 different advisors.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
One left, one retired, one went on a foreign trip. One completely just went off the face of the earth, and now I got a new one. But so it's been fun with that. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to say mine? I guess transitioning for me, like just like you said, like not being in season definitely helps a lot. Definitely gets your feet like moving. Like you get a grasp for the campus, your academics, everything, and then you have that time off after the first semester, that nice break. Because in high school, at least your winter break is literally at most 2 weeks, a week and a half. In college, you get a whole month off, and then you get to come back, get like another 2 weeks, and then you get to start your spring.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely just getting the grasp for everything helps a lot.
Yeah, so we've started talking about transitioning from high school to college just like as a whole. But so for you, you've already played a couple of seasons in sports. How do you like go with the new competition? Because coming out of high school, everyone thinks they're big baller, they're a college commit. Then you get onto a college campus as a freshman, you got guys that are 5, 6 years older than you that have been playing and are much, much bigger than you.
Yeah.
What's like your, I don't know the word. How do you go about like the new competition and being like what you thought was a top dog to the little puppy that was just birthed?
I mean,
What an analogy.
I mean, we've all done it, right? We've been 5th grade to 6th grade, like all middle school to high school. It's just like realizing, like, or at least for me, as soon as I stepped on the field and we played another team, I was like, these are grown men. First year, excuse me. But when I stepped on the field, these are like grown men. Like some people, we played Stevens in my freshman year. Their goalie was in 8th year. He was 30 years old.
He just said first year. You said freshman again?
Oh, I'm sorry. But, I mean, just work, like, you have to work hard, push yourself. Like, you have to realize everyone's working hard. Everyone's going to the lifts. Everyone's doing the conditioning, the running. But what's going to separate you and make you stand out to play on the field? What's going to make you be able to compete against these grown men, these people that have experience, have been playing sports for longer than you, 3 years older than you, maybe more. So just,
some of them have kids.
Yeah, like actually. But like working like harder, maybe putting in like an hour, 30 minutes in an extra a day just to separate yourself and be better and keep growing your game and what makes you different and separates yourself. Just, I guess that would be what I would take away from it.
Do you think knowing your role when you come in has anything to do with it?
Yeah, definitely knowing your role. Like, I guess on our team at least, not a lot of freshmen speak up. They're not a lot of social. They're all first year. Oh my God, that's the 3rd time I've done it. I'm sorry, Larissa's gonna be so mad at me. But I mean, you have to grow into that role, right? You have to know your part. As soon as you come in as a first year, you know that you're not the top dog anymore, and you know that there's people here that have been waiting to be seniors, to be juniors, to be rising in these ranks, and just knowing your role and fitting into that role and helping your team grow as a whole is definitely the best point of view I can give.
I love that you said that because I don't know I don't know if you know him, but Fred Doberman, who our old softball coach,
Everybody knows Fred.
He's
he
always
actually
around.
wrote a book about being a rookie and surviving your first year of college softball, which
really?
might actually be really helpful for you. But he talks in it about going from being a big fish in a small pond to a big fish in an even bigger pond, because everyone gets recruited for a reason, and like everyone has skill. So like, but obviously not everyone can start, and so finding your role in the team is like something that you do have to figure out as like a first year and even moving through. And he even talked about how, say like you're not starting, but you want to put yourself in the position to like, if you're not starting, then you want to be the first subbed in, or like like finding your like spot in the lineup and working hard. Like you might not be chasing that starting spot like right away as a freshman, or first year, my fault, but but you are, like, you do want to be like chasing that like subbing spot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just something to keep in mind, like transitioning, even like as a sophomore, like you still, you know, there's juniors and seniors that are starting, you still are fighting for that spot and competing against your teammates. So that's just something to keep in mind too.
Yeah, roles change every year.
Yeah.
Coming in as a first year, you kind of just have to learn from the guys that above you. You are the new guy. So as a first year, you're really working to, I'd say, learn from the guy that's in the spot in front of you. And then when you become a senior, your job for the first years is to teach them. So that way, whenever you leave the program or end up getting hurt with hopefully doesn't happen, they are ready to come in like right away, just in case that you don't have the time to get them right.
Yeah. What would you say is your biggest takeaway from, I mean, you have 3 years of experience, you're a senior now, transitioning into your senior year, taking more of a leadership role, you have that experience, you've played for 3 years. What's your biggest takeaway been so far this semester?
So I feel like I'm the perfect person for this question, and I don't mean to toot my own horn, but now being a senior, I am the only returning starter in the lineup. So it did put a little bit of pressure on me, because I have the guys that have known me to be a leader on the field that are now looking at me to be that leader like throughout the season. So I had to learn from all the other guys that were in front of me, and man, some of those guys are studs. We had 3 guys transfer out, all to Division I, Division II, Division III schools, but it's not even about the way they played. They were just such good leaders, and yeah, they taught me stuff, but the one thing that I was focused on from them the entire time is how they kind of lead an entire team. We have 21 new first years on the baseball team this year, so it's pretty much an entirely new team for me. So the leadership role is big. Coaches will say it, players will say it's completely different than last year. So being able to like embrace a leadership role and trying to get like back on the same pace that we had last year when we all had the chemistry, because we only had a couple first years. It's a lot different it's pretty much going to a brand new school, but you got a couple of the same friends coming with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well put. What about you? How's the transition been? You've obviously played one season. You were first year last year. Coming back, having 1 year of experience, how's the transition been thus far?
I felt like, I was thinking about this earlier, like this is the most prepared that I feel like I've been for like any season, if that makes sense, because I knew what to expect from last year, and then especially like with our fitness test this year, I actually knew what to expect. Not that I wasn't prepared last year, but I mean, I didn't do as well as I did this year, but I think that I had more time too, if that makes sense, because our summer break was like from beginning of May, and then I had a report August 17th. I had like 3 whole months of summer, whereas last year I only had a month of summer between like when I graduated and when I had a report, and like with vacations and all that stuff, I could not prepare myself fitness wise, if that makes sense. And then I also like, I still did the packet, but I learned like from the packet and just doing like spring workouts and all that stuff what worked for me. So then I like pretty much did my own thing this summer, and I felt like I prepared myself a lot better. So I feel like that's something for many people like coming in, is that like fitness packets like are great, and they like give you a good idea of what you should be doing and how you should be preparing yourself. But if you can push yourself harder like in one workout and like, or you can swap them around so like you can find what works for you. I think that that's something that was super important, where like rather than just following it so strict last year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because going off that, because like when I got that fitness pack, I was like, oh my god. And
Yeah,
I was like,
it was so
hard.
overwhelming.
Like I could not get into the gym every day, like because I graduated in June. I was doing softball most of the week, all the weeks in the summer. It was so hard to get into the gym. So like I like found a routine that worked for me.
Yeah.
Especially during like that summer right after I graduated high school.
Yeah, speaking of the summer, the transition between like a sophomore summer going into your junior year of high school is going
So
to the pool,
different.
hanging out with your friends, grabbing some ice cream. Once you get to senior year and you figure out that you are going to be a collegiate athlete, and then through college, your summer is now, how can I get better?
Yeah.
No,
How can I make
exactly.
myself
Exactly.
dominant in this sport?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like if your season, at least for us, our season's in the spring, so like we as soon as we're done playoffs, like you feel like all that pain, like losing to York, like it just motivates you, drives you. So like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to take that week off, that month off. I just want to get back on the field and keep getting better and better each day.
Yeah.
Like just getting the best I can be so we can beat those guys next year. Got to keep playing up to that standard.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts says it best. The standard's been set. Only direction is to rise.
Yeah, just like the Jets.
Oh, no.
I'm going to take some heat for that one.
Boo.
Worth it.
That was a really hot take. No. I don't know. I felt like just because I knew like what the expectation was this year, like I felt like I knew what I had to do to prepare to like meet that expectation, if that makes sense. So that was like what motivated me, was that like, and then also just being with the girls on the team, like, yeah, they're your teammates, but like you're also competing against them, and you're competing to make yourselves better and push each other. So I knew as soon as like, I know that Daesh is one of the fastest girls on our team. So I made sure that when we went into our fitness test, like I matched up with Daesh, and she paced me to like PR on my 1 mile, which our fitness test was a 2K, which is only 5 laps around the track. But you know what I mean? And I felt like I knew that that was a strategy, whereas I didn't like know that my freshman year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What have you guys gained, like the transition between time management? Because in high school, go to class, practice is most likely right after you go home. Mom's sitting there with a beautiful lasagna on the table asking about your day.
Yeah.
Oh, or the crock pot out.
Oh, no, you better hope it's not a crock pot.
I'm with him on that. I hate when my mom's got the crock pot.
I love
I
when
would
my
always-
mom has the crock pot.
She actually makes some good stuff in
Yeah.
the crock pot.
That's wild. Mom, if you're listening, every time I would text on my way home from practice, what are we having, to my dad, because he'd always let me know the
Yeah.
truth. And if he said, go to McDonald's,
Oh,
I'd have to sneak my dad like a Big Mac later that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Because I know that he didn't want crock pot food either. Mom, I still love you.
Yeah.
But so the time management, now you're in college, and high school you got class back to back to back to back to back. It's all day from either
Yeah.
8 to 3 or 9 to 4. Now some people have like 2-hour breaks. So what do you do to manage college athletics, classes, and whatever else you need to do while you're up here?
I mean, I feel like it's just repetition, right? Like your schedule on the off season, for us at least, it's the same time slots for practices, same time slots for lifts, agility. So just finding that schedule that perfectly fits you. Wake up, go to class, come home, get a snack in, get a little bit something to eat, go to lift, go to running, agility, whatever. Go back to class, come home, get another meal in, then go to practice at night. Just sticking to the same schedule. I mean, obviously it's not going to be the same every day.
Yeah.
Things change constantly in this world, but just trying to stick to that schedule the best you can. Having like a planner, as much as that sounds like a corny idea, like it really helps you. Like our coach gave us each calendars this year with all of our practices, all of our lifts, and every day when I wake up, I go into my closet and I check it off. I write other things on it that I'm doing in the week. Like I wrote the podcast on there because I knew this was coming up.
yeah.
So just trying to stick to that schedule definitely helps.
Yeah. No, I feel like in season, my time management is way better than out of season, just because it's so time consuming that like I know that when I find that time during the day to do something, I better make use of it, because who knows when I'm going to like have that time again. Whereas in like out of season, it's so much harder to like, you really have to like find a schedule, like work in time to go to the gym on top of like our off season schedule too. But then finding the time during the day. Like, I had way too much time during the day that, like, I did not do as well in my classes. I mean, I still did good, but, like, I felt like I didn't have as much control, and, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because, like, right now, because I'm in my off season, I feel like I still have, like, lifts and, like, practices, like, every week, but I feel like I still have a lot of time on my hands where it's, like, I could be, like, being productive and, like, making sure I'm setting a schedule for my spring so, like, I'm prepared for it because I know it's going to be, like, back to back to back. But, like, I need to focus on doing that and making sure I have the right time management for when it comes to being in, like, spring season.
See, all of you guys mentioned, like, having a calendar and a plan. I can't plan anything to save my life. I didn't even know I was coming today until I read the email. I can't plan. But for me, I mean, I've been here this is now my 4th year. I have never used a planner. I think I'm pretty good with time management. But I also don't want to set out my day because then I just feel like a robot. If I have homework, I'll just get it done. Now we got 3 hours to do absolutely nothing before practice. But I didn't plan that. I kind of just go with the flow. Like, either I'll play Xbox, do homework that's not due for another month that I probably shouldn't even be doing yet because we haven't learned it. But really anything for me is I just don't like setting a specific schedule. Yeah, I'll have practice or lift that I know that I have to go to and stuff like that. But, like, on my own time, everybody gets in moods. There's times where you want to go work out, times where you just want to sit on the couch with a bag of chocolate and popcorn, watch a romance movie by yourself, and maybe cry at the end. But you can't just plan that out because people have, like, everyday emotions that they can't really control.
Yeah. No, that is true.
Yeah.
Everything's constantly changing.
Yeah, I mean, one day your mom could send you $100 in your bank account, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a great day. The next day she calls you, your dog died. Now you're sitting on the couch.
Oh, my. What a turn of events. That escalated really quickly.
I mean, the $100 would be great, but not the dog dying. That'd be really sad.
Oh my gosh. I'll never forget my dog ran away during finals of my first semester last year. God, that was rough.
But was it on your schedule? My point. So you can't.
Yeah,
he did come back. He came back, everyone. It was okay.
But you you can't just plan for everything because if you say, oh, I'm going to set this specific hour to study.
No, you're right.
And your dog runs away.
No,
you're not going to study because it's in your schedule.
Studying was chalk that week. I did not do anything. It was a hot mess.
How'd you do on those finals?
I passed. I actually got like I think, what did I get?
I got
I got a 90 something on my chem final.
Damn.
And then
that's good.
Yeah.
I think I could.
What's up?
Something else on my logic. I probably did not do good on logic. I hated that. Oh, sorry. To my logic professor if he was watching this. But
the last thing that I pretty much had on my mind is going home. Like, you guys are constantly here. I'm from Virginia, so it's not easy for me to go home every weekend.
Yeah.
Like, are you guys able to go see your family, your friends back home, and just stuff like that? Because everybody misses their mom or their dad or their brother, dog.
I mean, I'm from Havertown. I literally live 15 minutes away. So I go home, I'd say once a week, see my dog, see my parents.
Do you get mama's home-cooked meals?
No, my mom's a teacher, so I usually go home during the day while she's at school. And my dad usually takes me to lunch. But, I mean, going home and seeing my family is definitely helps me every week. But, I mean, I'm really close with my friends at home. We're kind of like brothers, so it's difficult being home and it feels like I'm missing a piece of me when I'm home and they're not there. So literally waiting for Thanksgiving break, fall break, just to see them. Like, we're on fall break this upcoming Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to go stay at my friend's house for I call it like my temple vacation. I'm going to go stay with them just to see them, be with them. But
it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you're transitioning from living with them for at least 18 years straight of your life, and then they ship you off.
Yeah.
So it is kind of difficult just to balance and not adapt, but what's the word that I'm looking for? I know someone knows that. I'm just not
Homesick?
very bright. No. I don't know.
Adjust?
Yes, adjust, not adapt. Adjust to just living on your own.
Yeah, a new situation.
I mean, your first year, how's that been? Because first year is always the hardest.
Yeah, I feel like, so I'm like, but in my dorm, I have a single, so I'm all by myself.
Oh.
Yeah. So
was that hard?
Turn out.
I don't feel like it's that bad. I feel like it's definitely like, I think it's nice having my own space. And, like, because I have the softball team, I feel like I'm able to make friends.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like if I wasn't a part of, like, a team, I'd definitely have a harder time.
Yeah.
But I know, like, all the people that are in my, like, hall, and also I feel like it's pretty nice. And, like, I'm only 20 minutes from home, too. I'm from South Jersey. So I go home, like, pretty much whenever I can. It's only 20 minutes. So I get to go home, like on the weekends when I can and stuff like that. So I feel like it's really not that bad.
How did you end up with a single?
Yeah, wait, what dorm are you in?
Hannah Hall.
Oh, those are tiny.
No, my room's big.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't those tiny?
I've never had a roommate since I've been here. I got here,
Really?
COVID, no roommates allowed.
Yeah.
Then sophomore year, we ended up going to Dixon Hall, and then the kid dropped out of school, and he's now like a bodybuilder. So the first text I sent when he sent his dibs on the single room. Now I'm in a house, and I've never had a roommate. So it's kind of weird for me that everyone's like, oh, yeah, my roommate, he's got his girlfriend over, so I came over here because they're watching a movie. But I really just... Coming here was very difficult because it is 3 hours from home for me at least.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm flying and there's no traffic, it could be up to 3.5, 4. But I never get to go home. Like, I haven't been home since I've been here, and I probably won't be able to go home until Thanksgiving. So it is... You guys have it easy being able to go and see your family and your dogs and your dad while your mom's at work.
Yeah, exactly.
But being here and doing a sport, it's very difficult to go home and see my family because I don't have more than a day off.
Yeah.
So there's no point of driving.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Yeah, total of 7 hours in a day.
Yeah, if you're driving back too, yeah.
Then you're going to be exhausted.
Drained from the car ride,
Yeah.
Not the best look.
I'm only an hour away, but last year I didn't have my car my first semester, so I always like felt bad. Even though my dad only works like 20 minutes from here, so he could pick me up like before or after work, but I always felt bad like asking to go home, and I never really felt a need to go home my first semester. I think that I went home like for one day over fall break because I had practice like that Monday, and then for Thanksgiving break. But ever since I came this year, like I've gone home so much more. I think that I've been home like maybe 3 times now, which is more than like in 2 months than like all of like my first semester last year. So that's been different. But I have my car now, so I think that that's why. Also, our season has been kind of weird with like the like timing of like we had like one weekend where we had off for 2 days or something like that. So I found it easier to go home then. But my dad literally, like, he tried to uninvite me from coming home on Sunday. I was like, he calls me, he's like, it was like 2 and I hadn't left yet, and I wanted to go home to watch the Phillies game, or the Eagles game. He told me that he would make buffalo chicken dip if I came home. So I was like, okay, I'll come home. And then it comes like around 2. They played at 4, so I had like an hour to like get back. And then he was like, you might as well just like not come home because you'd only be home for 12 hours. And I was like, no, I'm just going to like skip my class tomorrow and I'll have 24.
Ooh, I wouldn't have said that on the podcast.
Oh, I hope that my coach isn't.
Oh.
Greg, can you cut that one out?
Yo.
Because
No,
my coach
this
probably
is
would not have
definitely
liked that
staying
one.
in. That is keeping in.
Oh, no.
Your coach is not going to be happy.
No. Oh, anyways, you win some, you lose some. I picked and choose my battles, and I had to go home for the buffalo chicken dip, so.
I really hope your coach sees that.
I really hope she doesn't.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm enjoying
Sounds
myself.
fun. Yeah, me too. I thought this was going to be, like, a lot, like, I don't know.
What, like more awkward?
Yeah, than, like, it actually is. Like, I honestly forgot that we were recording for, like, a while.
I don't even know how long we've been recording for. It feels like 10 minutes, but it's definitely been like 30.
Oh, it's half an hour.
30.
Yeah,
Wow.
dang.
We're doing good.
I'm happy to wrap it if you want.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I gotta get home and watch
On
this.
that note-
Watch this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what time?
Is it
Oh,
8?
7 minutes.
Is it 8 o'clock right now on the dot?
Yeah, it's 8 on the dot.
Brian, Nick, Katie, and Ava, thanks for joining us on this episode and the first of our new season. Everybody make sure to follow us on YouTube and check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll see you next time for the Widener World of Sports.